Now I want to get into economics. Again, for me, history matters. Let us go back to 1890. Now, 1890, there was a group of white men who came to occupy Zimbabwe. What is striking is this, that they decided they had found their country called Rhodesia, and they had to make Rhodesia how they wanted it to be like. So they worked so hard using the country's resources to build Rhodesia. What I am saying is this: there is nowhere in history where it is written that Rhodesia was built by Britain or by South Africa. It was built by Rhodesians, that group of white people who called themselves Rhodesians. And they worked so hard using the resources of the country. And they worked so hard to the extent that even after UDI, the Unilateral Declaration of Independence, where the United Nations actually imposed worldwide sanctions against those guys, they still continued to live the highest standard of living. They continued to utilize the resources that were at their disposal in Rhodesia to maintain their highest standard of living in the world. So, when I look at us, I look at the war, I say, why was the war fought? It looks to me like the war was fought because we felt jealousy of the way of living, the highest standard of living that the Rhodesians lived. And that's why immediately after Lancaster, after independence, what do we see? We see people rushing to occupy the positions that were being held by the Rhodesians. We see Africans rushing to occupy the houses that were occupied by the Rhodesians. We found the division between the northern and the southern parts, just like the white men lived. You know? And what kind of economy did we follow? It was Anglo-American economy. There was no change. But to my surprise is that our nationalists did not have any understanding of the Anglo-American economic system that the Rhodesians were using. So, they did not know anything. So, what they did was to depend so much on the Rhodesians, because it was the Rhodesians who knew how their economy was being conducted. So, what I'm trying to point out is this, that we failed to craft an economic system that would be workable for Zimbabweans. And the economic system should have been to stimulate all the Zimbabweans to do even better than what the Rhodesians did for themselves, because there was nowhere that we would maintain the higher standard of living using the resources that had been created by the Rhodesians. That would get depleted, as it was meant for just a few people, and now we were many, you know? And during the war, what we should have told our cadets is that we were fighting the war in order to do much more than what the Rhodesians can do. Even the Pungwes should have even continued educating the majority of Zimbabweans that the independence is only meaningful unless if we are in full control of our resources, if we are in full control of our production. that production should have been the ideology of the Rhodesians, the Zimbabweans.